Good morning, dear students. Today we'll see what are the different use cases, that is real-time applications in data analytics. This image I have taken from the link which I have written below. These are the different use cases of data analytics. Apart from this, there are lot many different use cases or real-time applications are available. So here the first one is the 360-degree view of the customer, social media analysis, delivering the personalized customer experience, customer churn analysis and prevention, market basket analysis, up and cross selling. So here first is a 360-degree view of customer. It means that whoever is a customer for your business, you're going to know each and everything about that customer. Like when that customer comes to your online Shopee or your store, what items he have purchased, what is the history of purchasing, how much time he have purchased, etc. So you can understand what is a buying pattern of that customer. Second is a social media analysis, where whatever the sentiment word given by the user on a social media, you will analyze that positive and negative word, and you can find out the different analysis. We'll see the example in the next slide. Third one is a market basket analysis. Again, I have just added all the examples in the next slide. We will go one by one. So here is a one example of social media sentiment analysis, where I have taken one example of like Project Donald Trump, where the data is taken from the different social media analysis like Wave, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Likewise, I have taken this image from the link given below. Here they have collected all the sentiments given on social media in the form of text, emojis, likes, dislikes, etc. So in this, if you see here, they have mentioned the total values they have collected. From that, how many are the positive words or sentiments and how are the negative sentiments. So using which you can find out that particular topic belongs to more in public in a more positive side or on a negative side. Again, second example I have given, again it is taken from the below link, that is a Uber project. Again, it have taken the data from this many different resources, and 44,652, these are the different mentions it have collected. And apart from that, these are the positive and these are the negative. Green color shows the positive and red color shows you the negative value. So accordingly, you can see that 76% public sentiments are positive about Uber and 23% are negative. This is all the data which are given in this particular slide. So here I want to just explain you how the social media sentiments are analyzed here. So likewise, there are lot many examples are also I have just quoted here. If we go again for some other social media analysis. So here, this particular website has given the social media analysis regarding COVID-19 sentiment. So you can see that in February, the color is in a yellow, means the fear is very less. But as the time grows from Feb to March, the fear in the public is increasing. So this they check about the whatever text you are posting on the sentiment. So according to that text, it analyze and it will check it is on a positive side or negative side. Likewise, this is another example here. Then one more example I have just added here, so you can understand like how the use of data is used in the analysis. So here if you take the example of like work from home, so here are some text are given. So this text, some text are like if you see here, these are some positive text because here word is coming as a good. Likewise, so these are considered as positive and these are considered as negative because there are some word like can't or like it's not, it's a useless, like negative words are there. So according to this particular message which are posted on Twitter, they have find out how many are the positive sentiment, how many are the negative sentiment for the work from home culture. This is another example. Then next, this is all about the social media sentiment analysis. The next is the market basket analysis. So market basket analysis actually gives you the pattern about the purchasing of a customer in a supermarket or any like super Shopee. So one example like they have given, if you have a basket with lots of purchase items. So just some question has been asked like, where should, if you concentrate on like first question, so first question is where should detergent be placed in the store to maximize the sale. So where you have to put the detergent so the, so its sale should be increased, that can be one question. Second question, is soda typically purchased with the banana or are window cleaning products purchased when detergents are purchased? So generally they check out if a particular customer is purchasing a particular product. It is also tend to buy the another product. Like example, if customer is purchasing a bread, so how many times he is also purchasing a butter with the bread? Likewise, these are the different example where we are find out like which two items are generally taken by taken by customer simultaneously or at the same time. So which item you have to put on which place in the supermarket so your sale will be increased. Likewise, this, some examples are given again in market basket analysis. It also examines the data like what are the different like hot 20 products, means what are the 20 best product which are bought by the user most of the time, so you can purchase that item more in your super Shopee to increase your sale. Likewise, the market basket analysis is also done. Then next example is like cross selling and upselling. So here they just give you the one product like in a cross sell. Here in a cross sale they just give you the combo, like if you want to just purchase a burger, but they will give you the combo like if you purchase uh, three items, these three items together you will get some discount. Likewise, so it is called as a cross selling, means when customer want to purchase one item, they um, motivate or they encourage the customer to buy the another item also just by giving some discount or some offers. Then next is a upsell. Upsell means where they encourage the customer to buy the big product instead of the smaller one product. So likewise, they just increase their sale. So these are the different examples of data analytics. So just by considering the customers sentiment and their purchasing pattern and just analyzing all this thing, you can increase your business by offering some discount, by placing your product at some proper particular place, or by offering some different like schemes and likewise. So these are just a small example. Apart from this, there are a lot many examples of data analytics. These are the content beyond syllabus, whatever we have seen. These are the content beyond syllabus where you should understand what are the real-time applications of data analytics. In one of the lecture, we have also taken one content beyond syllabus where we have considered what are the different real-time applications of big data analytics. So where we have seen like in healthcare, agriculture, in retail, in traveling, in n number of domain, the big data analytics are also used. Now we'll move toward our next topic from our syllabus, that is analytical architecture. So whenever the analysis is done on the data, what type of architecture is currently available for analyzing? So if here, if you go like in first one, the data is coming from the different resources. It can be in the form of databases, it can be in the form of text, images. So data is coming from different sources in a variety, which are collected in second phase. It is collected either in a data warehouse or it is collected in a enterprise data warehouse. So here the analyst analyze the data which is available in a data warehouse, but here only the analysis is done is depend on the historical data or present data, and it gives the output only in the form of description or in the form of summary, but it is not used for the prediction purpose. So for prediction purpose it goes on the fourth stage. In third stage generally it gives the output whatever it have generated whatever it have collected the data, that data is analyzed and it gives the data in the form of dashboards, in the form of different reports or alerts, or in the form of graphs likewise, or in the form of summary. But these are only the three different stages in a current analytical architecture, but nowadays a fourth stage is also added, that is a data science user, where data analyst or data science users check out the raw data or the data available either in EDW or data available in the data warehouse. It collects all the data and do some analysis, and for that it requires a huge space, because analysis on a huge data is done on in memory and which require a huge space for analysis purpose. But if you see this architecture, the one drawback of this architecture is that here the data analytics have the least priority because it is coming in a fourth stage. Again, no spatial space is also available where they can analyze the data, they can perform some different operation on that data to find out the output. So just by considering all these problems of current analytical architecture, the one solution which is provided here is a analytical sandbox. So in this advanced analytics on the data is performed by the data scientist in a huge space where they can store the raw data and they can also perform the different operation, and this particular area is called as the analytical sandbox. I hope you understood this lecture. We will see the next topic in the next lecture. Thank you so much for listening.